what you've seen going on in Washington is so disgusting. It's not in the interest of you as the American people. So I'm going to do it my way. And I've answered this question on so many occasions when I've talked about them, guys. I've said this. You could have politicians saying, I disagree with this person, I disagree with that person, etc. Trump will call them every name under the sun. He will mock them. He will insult them. He will be as annoying and as disgusting as you will allow him to be. And the voters will say, ha! We love the fact that you talk to Washington that way, because as American citizens, that's how we feel about Washington.
Now, this is one of the craziest clips that I have ever seen from Real Time with Bill Maher. This time, Bill Maher brings on Stephen A. Smith, who's not really known for politics at all. He's not really known in the politics space, but he's a sports commentator that has been kind of making his way into politics. And for the longest time, because he worked for CNN, he had been very woke, because obviously if you work for, or it's not CNN, sorry, ESPN. And if you work for ESPN, if you work for Disney, then you're forced to be woke, or else you get fired. But now Stephen A. Smith is such a large name in sports and just in media that he's breaking away from having to, rely on his Disney overlords, and he's able to actually speak the truth. And he goes on Real Time with Bill Maher and absolutely stuns Bill Maher's entire audience and leaves them silent by destroying the other panel members who were spewing out this woke nonsense. Let's get into this clip here where Stephen A. Smith and Bill Maher team up to silence the panel members and also Bill Maher's own audience. Let's check this out.
On YouTube, Stephen A. Smith is here. And he's a Democratic congressman from California, Silicon Valley, and a member of the House Oversight and House Armed Service Committees. Ro Khanna is back with us. Okay. So week one of the Trump administration, look, I said from the beginning, I'm not going to pre-hate anything this time, but now he's been in office for a week. I'm going to hate something. No, really. I mean, I hated pardoning people who attacked cops. Even if you took the politics out of it, even if they were at the Capitol that day because they were a polka band, I don't care. Even the cops didn't like that. I also don't like the same thing I didn't like from the first time. Trump has no understanding of how this country works, or he does not care to learn. In his view, I'm the leader, so I can do anything. TikTok, I mean, both House and Senate voted, you either have to sell it, or he just got rid of that and just said no by proclamation. Birthright citizenship. It's another one. Now, I didn't even think birthright citizenship is a good idea to begin with. It seems kind of crazy to have that but it's in the Constitution. Right. So it seems like people are talking about this imperial presidency we have, where a president can just do anything.
I mean, no, okay, here's the thing. Donald Trump does speak like that. He does speak as if he can just do anything. Guess what? So does every single other president and presidential candidate ever. Did you ever hear Kamala Harris? Or Kamala Harris is really a bad example because she didn't even say that she was going to do anything. She never even claimed that she wanted to actually get anything done. She just said, I'm not Donald Trump. Vote for me. Here's Meg Thee Stallion twerking. Please vote for me. But if you look at other Republican candidates, if you look at Joe Biden and people who are running against Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, they also say the same thing. Do they ever say, hey guys, I'm not going to actually do anything myself, but we're going to go through, the Supreme Court. We're going to go through all these checks and balances that have been set throughout the United States government, and then we're going to try to get some things done. Nobody ever says that because it's not attractive to say. Obviously, whenever Donald Trump says we're going to end birthright citizenship, he doesn't mean I'm just going to go and overthrow democracy like they always like to say and just move right past the checks and balances and not really care what the Senate says, not really care what the Supreme Court says. Just ignore all that and just do it myself. He doesn't mean that. Everybody else says it the same exact way that Donald Trump says it, but because Donald Trump, the difference is Donald Trump actually is getting stuff done. And look, I swear to you, I'm not some Donald Trump simp or anything, but Donald Trump actually got stuff done in his last term, and he actually is moving to get stuff done in this term already. He's only been in office for like a week or maybe less. He's actually trying to get stuff done. That's the difference. Everybody else makes these claims and they get nothing done. And then people like Bill Maher are shocked whenever Donald Trump says, hey, I'm going to do this. And then he gets in office and he actually tries to do that. That's the only difference. It's not some imperialistic. It's not some dictatorship. It's nothing. None of the buzzwords that you want to use. It's none of those things. It's just a president saying he's going to do something and then actually trying to do the thing. I know it's a crazy concept. It's wild.
What are you in Congress going to do about it? That's my question, everybody in Congress. It keeps happening. What are you going to do?
Well, first of all, we're going to speak for basic American values. I mean, if you're born in America, you're an American, period. And when he's going after that, all the Republican lecturing, we're for the Constitution, we're for the founders, until they're not. You know what makes America exceptional? The fact that your parents can come from any country, be of any faith, not have wealth, not have fame, and if you're born in America, you can go as far as you want. And that's what Donald Trump is taking away. And then the part, let's keep going.
I mean, come on, man. Rich Chinese people come here, they fly over here, and then they have the baby here just so they can be an American citizen. It has been bastardized. You can't say that this is just all for the good.
This is like the Reagan welfare queens. They pick out some extreme example, but you're going to change the Constitution?
No, you
you
have to change the Constitution. That's what I'm saying. You can't do things by proclamation. He does not understand that.
He doesn't care.
He does not care. He does not care to learn.
He doesn't give a damn. He's not interested. And not, by the way, that's how he got into office. We got a backtracker and rewind the clock when he walked down, he just strolled down the escalators in 2015. He was basically sitting up there and saying.
And by the way, guys, I get asked all the time how I grew this YouTube channel so quickly in this politics niche. And what a lot of you don't realize is that I'm a YouTube strategist that has worked with a lot of top channels in this niche, such as Benny Johnson and Charlie Kirk. Me and my business partner worked with Russell Brand, actually reached out to me and we designed his thumbnails and gave him some strategy tips on how to grow his YouTube channel. Lauren Chen, so many other names. I could keep going on forever. But what I'm actually going to do, since so many of you have been asking me, is I'm hosting a free live workshop, a free live class this coming Thursday at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, where I'm literally going to break down the entire strategy that I use for this Justin Reloaded channel, as well as all the other channels and the top channels in this niche that we have worked with. I hope to see you there. If you are interested in joining, you can check the link in the pinned comment, or you can check the top link in the description, either one, and you'll be able to sign up and be at that workshop where I'm going to break all this down and show you how you can also build a YouTube channel to this point and make enough money to go full time with it.
What you've seen going on in Washington is so disgusting. It's not in the interest of you as the American people. So I'm going to do it my way. And I've answered this question on so many occasions when I've talked about them, guys. I've said this. You could have politicians saying, I disagree with this person, I disagree with that person, etc. Trump will call them every name under the sun. He will mock them. He will insult them. He will be as annoying and as disgusting as you will allow him to be. And the voters will say, ha! We love the fact that you talk to Washington that way, because as American citizens, that's how we feel about Washington. And the fact that you're speaking our language is what makes us trust you, because we believe you resonate on our behalf. This is why he got into office in 2016. This is why a whole bunch of people were acting like you know what in 2020 with the insurrection, because it was an insurrection, regardless of what people want to admit, the way those folks were acting. Not everybody, but some of them. And then ultimately he wins back in office in 2024. Just like in 2020, we said Biden, it wasn't about votes for Biden, it was about votes against Trump. In 2024, it wasn't about votes for Trump, it was votes against some of the nonsense that was taking place within the Democratic Party, because they have not been able to find a voice that would resonate with the American people, where you're speaking their language, where they look at you and they say, hey, we get where you're coming from, you relate to us. The Democrats went a different direction. Trump capitalized on it. Basically, he played everybody like a fiddle and has won re-election again. That's really the bottom line.
I agree, I think, with a lot of what Stephen A. is saying. I mean, look, I think Trump...
It's so funny how he's like, he played everyone like a fiddle. Please explain how he played everyone like a fiddle. He didn't. All he did was the same exact thing that the Democrats had to do back in 2020, like Joe Biden did. Except Donald Trump, like I said, he's actually trying to make stuff happen. Now, like I said at the beginning of this, Stephen A. Smith does actually shut down this woke idiot right here. I don't even remember his name. It's like Roka Khan or some weird shit. I don't know. Let's get into this clip here where Bill Maher and Stephen A. Smith actually team up to shut this guy down.
Came in there and said politics are broken. They're all beholden to donors. There's been a country which has had all this economic wealth in some areas, other parts of the country, offshoring of jobs. Your communities haven't been helped. I'm going to come and fix it. And there's a history in this country. We love James Dean. We love Miles Barber. We love people who question rules. But what is he doing about it? Like, how is freezing cancer research, freezing diabetes research, and freezing Alzheimer's research doing anything to help people's lives? Now they're saying, oh, he's cool.
Well, I mean, talk about cherry picking. I mean, I didn't even hear about those. I'm not surprised he's doing it. But I don't have all the facts on that. And there's a lot of other stuff. I mean, some of them are not that crazy. Again, how he does it, by proclamation, no. But to your point, this country never reacts. It only overreacts. And some of this is brought on by the left.
Yeah,
you're right. You brought it on yourself. I mean, penises in the locker room, penises in women's prisons. Of course he's going to go the complete opposite direction now. And now there's only two sexes. Whereas obviously there's a middle ground.
No, there's not really a middle ground. It's pretty straightforward, I really don't understand where the confusion's at. It's like he's on the right track and then he just goes off. And it's like there's obviously a middle ground. There's really not a middle ground at all. But I would like for you to explain what the middle ground is. But as you can see, Stephen A. Smith, even these people who I said used to be extremely woke, are now saying that they're being forced to admit that, yeah, Donald Trump resonated with people because he sounds like a normal person, because he actually seems like he's fighting for the people of America. Whether he actually is or not, well, I guess we'll see in the next 4 years. But he at least sounds like it, versus Joe Biden just is an empty vessel of a human, very obviously being puppeteered by someone. And then there's, Kamala Harris she didn't even say that she was going to do anything. She's very obviously just an agent of the establishment. And then there's Donald Trump, who's trying to go against everyone, at least in the public eye. Now, who knows what's happening behind the scenes? Who knows what he's actually going to do when he's in office? Like I said, we're going to have to wait and see. But even these woke people like Bill Maher and Stephen A. Smith are being forced to admit that Donald Trump resonated with people. You don't win the popular vote for the first time in a long time for a Republican by accident, by not resonating with a ton of people. I just hope it doesn't continue to flip-flop over and over again, because I can kind of see that pattern starting where, I've said this before, but most Americans' lives are pretty miserable. Most American, like the average American life is not great. You go and work a job that you hate. You're coming home to a wife that you hate. Like that's really the majority of Americans. It really sucks. And they always look for somewhere to place the blame that's not themselves. They never look inward, never say, maybe I should change my life. They're always like, oh, let's just blame the person in the White House. It's the easy way out. So they're always just going to be blaming the White House for their shitty life that they actually created for themselves. So I think that it's going to just continue to flip-flop over and over again, where we're like, oh, my life sucks, so it's Joe Biden's fault. Or my life sucks now, so it's Donald Trump's fault. I'm going to vote the other way. It's like, no, it's kind of your fault. But I wish we would just vote based on, policy and who's actually going to fight for the people of America and actually use our tax dollars. If they're going to steal tax dollars out of our pockets, we should at least vote for the person that's not going to send it overseas and maybe use it to actually improve our lives a little bit. But that's for another time. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you guys think about Bill Maher and Stephen A. Smith teaming up on this woke idiot and really stunning the audience. You could hear the applause whenever Stephen A. Smith said that Donald Trump resonated with people. It's shocking to see that. It's crazy. It's crazy how much the tide is turning. Let me know in the comments though what you guys think about Bill Maher and Stephen A. Smith versus this woke idiot here, live on Real Time with Bill Maher.